Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and joining me as always on Monday is Jason Cameron. Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm good. It was a beautiful day today, and I cannot wait to talk some sports.
Nice. Me too. Yeah, exciting. Yeah, there's so much to talk about. Man, we've got a really packed show tonight. We're going to talk about the UFC, pretty crazy card. Lots of controversial things happened. NFL free agent frenzy was today. I cannot believe the money that's been thrown around today. I'm just going to start throwing figures at you and get some reaction. Man, incredible. I would say close to $1 billion was given out today by NFL teams. So it's going to be fun to break down. And we've got lots of basketball. We just watched the Knicks and the Nets, the Battle of New York. Pretty tight, exciting game there. And the Nets pulled out their 13th win out of their last 14. Man, they are on an incredible roll. And now we got a Battle of California, the Lakers against the Warriors. So it's going to be fun. We'll keep one eye on this, and we'll start discussing lots of sports.
Yeah, man. Of course. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that Battle of California, and the battle out east was a good one, but Randall messed up. But that's okay. It's okay. There'll be other chances.
Yeah. Man, that was a tight game. I can't believe it. A little controversy at the end, but the Nets, man, are they over on fire? I can't wait to break down some of the stuff that's happening there. Another triple-double for James Harden. He's just rejuvenated his career there and changed his whole approach. And the Nets are rolling along. Steve Nash has got them playing well, and it's going to be fun to talk about them. But why don't we talk about the UFC? That happened Saturday night at the Apex again. The main event had Leon Edwards coming off a 19-month layoff against Belal Muhammad, who was kind of fighting above his ranking and trying to come in as a late replacement for Khamzat Chimaev. Man, what a disappointing end to this one. We were really excited, looking forward to great battle, and Edwards had a really good first round, but man, an eye poke ends this one, and I don't think anybody could have been happy with this result.
No, nobody was happy with this result, especially the two competitors that were inside the octagon. Obviously, accidental eye poke. I just hope that Belal Muhammad's eye is going to be okay, because it looked bad, like real bad. Like
that was one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Yeah, that was one of the worst ones I've ever seen. Just immediately started swelling up, and he was screaming in pain when the finger went in there. I really feel for the guy. I hope it's not going to cause him any vision loss. We've seen some pretty serious eye pokes in the last few years, and so there's a big call out from everybody. We got to change the gloves. We got to do something different. What do you think? Is there a way that they can change this so we don't get this happening so much?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know, because like your hands and you have to grasp if you want to grapple, right? So you're going to need your fingers incorporated in the grappling of that kind of fighting style. So maybe it's not the equipment that needs to change. Maybe it's the training methods that need to change for the fighters, where they don't paw out, you know what I mean? Like where they don't use their distance with their fingers out, they use it with their fist instead. Like always as they do their stand-up, the fists are always clenched instead of having their hands out, unless they're going to shoot and grapple. And maybe it has to be
Herb Dean actually warned him a little bit before that. So maybe the UFC and the judging and the referees have to just immediately take points off. As soon as an eye poke happens, it's an immediate point. Another eye poke, it's 3 points. And, these guys will, realize they can't do it. It has to stop. There is some talk about some gloves that can go over the end of the hand. and they can only open with a really strong, forceful opening of your fingers, and it'll just be a closed, padded hand. And I'd like to see them. I'd like to see how they work, and see if they can incorporate them.
Oh, that sounds promising. At least like there's discussion is out there on looking at different options for equipment usage for the hands, because like something's got to happen, because like this is happening way too much, and it's costing the UFC money, and it's costing us fans like just awesome fights that we don't get to see because of these eye pokes.
Yeah, so I feel really bad. A main event I was looking forward to seeing. Having Edwards with this long layoff, trying to come back after having a lot of fights canceled, and I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it was a really disappointing main event. But there were a lot of other fights, some exciting knockouts in the co-main event. Light heavyweight battle between Ryan Spann and Misha Serkinov, the Canadian. Superman Spann with a deadly knockout, really, really quick. A minute and 11 seconds in, incredible shot that knocked Serkinov down and knocked him out. You got to be impressed with that performance from Superman Spann.
Yes, I was very impressed. Superman Spann, he did actually something very smart in that fight. Knocked him down the first time, and then he listened to his corner. Said, "Let him get back up so you can knock him down again." Because clearly his head was not straight after that first knockdown. It was a powerful right that sat him down. He let him get back up, only to finish the fight. And it was beautifully executed. Listened to his corner, because his corner had the right idea, and won the fight.
No, yeah, right. It was really, really great. Very amazing performance, and I was hoping more for Serkinov. He's one of the favorite fighters coming from Canada. He has the second shortest average fight time as a UFC fighter. One of only 2 Peruvian necktie submissions in UFC history, and the last time he fought was here in Vancouver. Really cool to see him live here, and I was hoping for him, but he just ran into a buzzsaw with Spann and got knocked out. I see Spann after the fight called out the winner between Jimmy Crute and Anthony Smith. I like the call out, and I think either one of these guys will give him a really good battle.
Oh yeah. I love the call out. I love the fact that he picked his shot, and he picked 2 guys that are on the up too. Well, Jimmy Crute more so than Anthony Lionheart Smith, but still 2 guys that are top ranked in the top 10. I believe both of them are. And so, yeah, man, great call out. I am sure that the powers that be will make that fight happen.
They're fighting. These guys are fighting April 24th, so only a little over a month away. There's also talk that maybe he'll fight Volkov or Volkan Ozdemir. So we'll see how it shakes down. But it was really great that he made that call out, and we'll see. He got $50K for bonus, $50K bonus for the knockout, and rightly so. He deserved it. So another huge knockout in the featherweight battle right before the co-main event between Dan Ige. 50K lived up to his nickname. He got the 50K for a really quick knockout. Pretty much the first punch of the fight, they were feeling each other out a little bit, and then he finally just cracked him, sat Tucker down, and it was over. For some reason, they got a little confused and were like, was that 3 seconds or 4 seconds or 5 seconds? Like, I don't know how they missed the first 15 or so, but anyway, boom, immediate knockout. Really, really, really tough.
No. It was the perfect strike. It was so perfect that they thought he actually went back in time and did it in a shorter amount of time than he actually did. That's how perfect the strike was. All right. Like he threw the right as Gavin Tucker was coming in, and that was all she wrote. And he walked away from it because he knew it's over. It was perfect. You cannot throw a strike better than that. It kind of reminded me of, not as devastating, obviously, of Corey Sandhagen with his flying knee to Frankie Edgar. It was that perfect a shot. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, it's just absolutely perfect. Just a incredible straight right hand, put Tucker down. Unfortunately, another Canadian taking a loss. EJ had the 5-inch reach advantage. He's ranked number 9. Obviously, looks like he'll move up. His last loss was against Calvin Cater, and Cater's, one of the top in that division. But man, EJ looked great. He said he was expecting a baby boy, and he's hoping his wife didn't have it in her excitement from the fight. But he said, everything's good. I'm going to go home. I'm going to have a little baby now, and this is going to be great. And then he called out the Korean Zombie. And that'll be an exciting fight if they can put that together.
Gutsy call out. Gutsy. That's all I got to say, because that dude is all sorts of scary. He's a zombie. And then, so you keep hitting him, he's not going to fall. He's just going to keep coming at you. He doesn't stop. He doesn't stop. But I love the call out, and I hope that they make that match, because that would be one hell of a fight. Oh man, super excited if they do that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that he changed his nickname. It used to be Dynamite Dan EJ. Now it's 50K, and he collected a bonus check that'll help him out, back to Hawaii and have a kid. How kids cost a lot of money. So good on him. He's able to get a double bonus check there. And huge knockout win. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the octagon soon. Bantamweight battle between Davy Grant and Jonathan Martinez. Wow. Martinez had knocked down Grant and looked like he was in control of this fight. And then Grant comes back in the second round and had a huge KO himself. He didn't look very good early on, but he put the lights out on Martinez with a huge shot in the second round.
Yeah, man. Like this fight kind of reminded me of momentum swings. Like Martinez definitely had the momentum in the first round. Then Grant took it away from him and took it back by coming super aggressive in the second round, to the point that he was a little bit reckless. I was going to say, like a little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was working for him. And so he got the momentum back, and he basically threw, if I remember correctly, he threw the same punch combination that he had the knockout win in his last fight, in this fight. And it worked again to a T, and knocked Martinez out, and he got the win, man. It was a great win by Grant. And I just thought it was just like something special for him to go back to the well, do the same punch combination that got him a knockout win his last fight in this fight, and he got the same result. So it was very impressive. He said his coaches are a little mad at him for his slow starts, but they're happy that he has 2 big comeback wins in his last 2 fights. And it was a huge knockout. And I saw a lot of really fun tweets and things that they put on Instagram, and they were having fun after that. They were definitely sharing a lot of pints, so I think it would have been fun to be at his after party. So did you want to say anything more on that one? Oh, no. I just would have said that, yes, of course. I definitely would be drinking hard too. He's an Englishman, and that's what they do. They drink.
Exactly, yeah. So the flyweight fight between Matthias Nicolau and Manel Kape, really, really impressive fight. Nicolau was returning from a long layoff. He had been off 2.5 years, hadn't fought for a really long time. He had actually fought Bantamweight before and was decided to fight flyweight now. He won the first round with a takedown and outstruck Kape. Kape definitely won that second round, but all of a sudden, Nicolau seemed to get some takedowns, get some control time, and ended up beating Kape that way in the end.
He did. Man, that third round for me, obviously that was the round to decide the fight between these two, right?
Yeah.
I kind of thought that Kape won the fight because I thought his striking was more effective. And when Nicolau did take him down, he didn't really do much with the position, and Kape stood back up. So that's why I thought Kape won the fight. So I guess maybe not as shocked as him, but I was still kind of like, oh, they gave the win to Nicolau. I know it was extremely close, and obviously they judged the takedowns more than I would have for that particular fight. But great win by Nicolau. Although sometimes I wonder about the judging. I wish it was more consistent. That's it. Yeah.
I see Nicolau was making some comments after he watched the fight, and he said that DC Daniel Cormier was really biased in the fight, and Kape is an AKA teammate, and so I think DC was given a lot of inside information and some I don't know, just sort of talking to about his teammate, but Nicolau took offense to it and took to social media and said, hey, you got to be unbiased when you got that job. What are you doing? Hey, we went into this fight fair and square. If it's your teammate, doesn't matter. Just call the fight how you see it. So.
Well, that's actually interesting because guess what, Nicolau? They all do that. Every single one of those analysts, if they're in their fight team, if they're looking at one of their friends that are fighting, they're biased towards them. Kind of hard not to be. Kind of hard not to be. Kind of hard not to find a fighter that's not associated with any fight camp that can be completely biased. Unbiased, I should say.
Unbiased, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's just sour grapes, and that's too bad. That's the way it's gonna that's the way it's gonna always be when you roll with guys, when you go into camps and you fight blood, sweat, and tears with them. You're gonna have a bit of bias with them, and it's nice to hear some insider information that you're not going to get if they don't have the teammates. So, okay. The fight that kicked off the main card was Darren the Dentist Stewart against Eric Anders, and so we have bookend no contest. We have the main event with a no contest, and we have Anders and Stewart. 2 weeks in a row, we've got an illegal knee when a guy's kneeling down. I don't know why these guys aren't knowing the rules and seeing what's happening and not throwing this. It was not really as bad, I guess, as the last week's, but still, it's a bad way for a fight to end. And I know these guys should know they can't throw a knee when a guy's kneeling down.
Yeah. They should all know that by now. Like, come on, man. Like, even if you're hyped up in the fight, you still got to follow the rules. I understand why it was given a no contest as opposed to the other one where the guy lost his belt. Yeah. In that situation with Peter Yan, the ref clearly told him, rounded opponent. Like, literally, don't throw that strike.
Just before.
Yeah, just before. Yelled it out at him twice, I believe. In this one, nothing was said because it was very quick when it happened. He threw the knee strike, realized that he shouldn't have thrown that knee strike, and then also too, not a lot of time had passed in that fight up to that point. I think they were still in the first round, so that's why it was given a no contest, right? So it sucked because it looked like it was going to be a great fight or had the potential to be a great fight, and. I don't know. Maybe I hope they run it back and they do it again because I'd love to see that fight play out.
Yeah, well, Anders had Stewart in a world of hurt. He was dominating him. He was striking him like crazy. Had him up against the cage. Had him in lots of trouble. It was so close. A few times Herb Dean was like, "Work out of it, fight back," and trying to yell to him that if he doesn't get at it, he's going to stop the fight. And it's bad when you have a guy on the ropes and you're so close to winning and you blow it like that. Like that cost him and his, corner people lots of money. And, I just don't get how this is happening 2 weeks in a row and ruining really fun fights.
Yeah. Yeah. These guys need to be more conscious of what they're doing inside the octagon. Clearly. They need to understand that if your opponent's grounded, you can't throw the knee. You can punch him though. You use your fists, you punch him. You just can't throw the knee and you can't kick him. Can't do that.
How do you think they came to the determination that it wasn't intentional?
Good question. I think it was because of the fact that it happened so quickly and it was more of an instinctual thing. Where Peter Yan, you could clearly see him size up Aljamain Sterling's head and go, yeah, I'm gonna throw it. I'm gonna throw it right now. And with Anders, it was more like he got him down, had him into position, and just threw it immediately. And then was like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm an idiot. So
did you see one of my podcasts with a guy, Jeff Mazzeros? He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor. And he told me a story about a fighter with the nickname The Dentist. Did you see that one?
I did not see that one. No.
Okay.
No. Cool.
I recommend watching it. Jason, our viewers and listeners, one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. Every time I come by that podcast, I want to just watch that little clip. He talks about a really hilarious story why the guy's called The Dentist. And as soon as I heard Darren Stewart's nickname, Dentist, it made me think of Jeff's story. And take a second, go replay that, Jeff Mazzeros, and you'll laugh. It was a very, very, very hilarious story. And it's probably one of the funniest stories I've had on my podcast, and I enjoyed it a ton.
All right. Well, I'll definitely give it a listen for sure.
Sounds good. Okay, well, let's break down the prelims card a little bit. We had a battle, a second battle between Angela Hill and Ashley Yoder. And Angela, man, she looked incredible. She was so dominating. Over 100 strikes were landed. Was just able to really find her way and just start beating her up. And man, I was incredibly impressed with Angela Hill. One of the best performances I've ever seen her have.
Oh yeah. Well, there was definitely a difference in class here in this fight. And Angela Hill most certainly outclassed Yoder in every facet of the fight game, in every aspect, in everything. Yeah. Yes, it was a rematch, but it wasn't really a rematch. Wasn't really a rematch of worth. Like it kind of reminded me of, not to the same extent, but like Amanda Nunes in her last fight, where she fought that other person. Who cares? Like, she beat her. So you know what I mean? Like, it kind of reminded me of that.
Anderson, yeah,
Megan Anderson. Like, yeah. It was just kind of a matter of fact.
Angela was one of the busiest fighters in 2020. She had 4 fights. She has had the most fights in the division's history in women's strawweight, 17 fights. She just, just her experience level was just incredible. And I loved watching her. And it was kind of cool too. After the fight, Karen Bryant, who runs the UFC desk there and has analysts all the time, she said that her and Angela Hill just started a podcast last week, and I plan to check out their podcast. I think it'll be really great to get some insight from both those women, and it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I always try to recommend good podcasts, and yeah, it was fun to hear that they put one together.
Oh man, yeah, that's actually kind of exciting news because I respect both of those women deeply, and I'm sure that their podcast will be excellent.
Yeah,
full of great content, full of excellent content.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay, we talked about 2 Canadians already on that main card. There was 3 Canadians on this card, and that doesn't happen very often when it's not in Canada. Luckily, when they come to Canada and put a card on, they do have lots of Canadians that they put throughout the whole entire roster and the fight card. But 3 Canadians on this one. So far, 0 for 2 that we've talked about, but Charles Air Jourdain was the lone winner on the Canadian side and had a huge, great performance, big knockout, very impressive performance by Air Jourdain.
Very impressive, like super impressive, because that was Rojo's debut, and he looked fantastic. Yeah. That guy is going to be, he's going to be a contender in that weight division for sure. And I was by how similar their styles were as they came at each other, because they did have like similar styles, except that Jourdain had more of a diverse attack, whereas Rojo kind of leaned more on his boxing, and his boxing was excellent. His hands were really, really educated and really, really good. But at that 3rd round, if I remember correctly, he went back to his corner, and the corner was hyping him up, and he said, "Nah, I'm going to take it. I'm putting him down in this round." That's what Jourdain said. And I was like, oh, he's calling his shot. This is going to be interesting, because that dude didn't look like he was going anywhere. And he grinded him. He came at him with everything. Yeah. Jourdain literally emptied the tank to get that dude out of there. And that showed me that he has the willingness and he has the heart of a champion. Like he's pushing for it, man. He really is.
Yeah, amazing performance in that 3rd round. Just incredible ground and pound when he got a knockdown, and then he finally finished him on the feet with a body shot. He just dug a body shot deep into him and took him down. And Mark Smith finally came in and stopped the fight. But yeah, 30 seconds to go. His corner seemed to say, I'm not sure if you're ahead. You probably need to finish this. And yeah, he did, and it was great. There was so many exciting strikes in that 1st round. They were measuring each other, but there was tons of kicks, tons of really crisp punches. For a debut for Rojo, wow, I really loved it, and it was great. A very good match made. They really seem to be very, very close in skill, and but yeah, hell of a fight. Probably my favorite fight on the card.
I thought personally, I don't know if it got it, but that this was the fight of the night. Yeah. By far and away, this fight was fight of the night. It was the best fight on the card by far.
Yeah. So what else do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk a little bit about the submission by Ronnie Yaha? Yeah, I guess they could say. Or do you want to jump into something else? Any of the other fights jump out at you?
Well, okay. I was going to say with the Ronnie Yaha fight, like, Jesus, like basically what he did was he just laid on him and just kept inching for positioning. 1st round, I didn't get the arm triangle. 2nd round, just kept inching into it. But Daniel Cormier did mention something where apparently Rodriguez was doing the wrong thing all the time, where he was bridging into what Yaya wanted to do, which was the arm triangle. And so Cormier's like, he is literally doing the wrong thing, and he's going to be caught in an arm triangle, which he did. And then it was like, what? And then that's the fight. So obviously that's something that Rodriguez's camp needs to work with him on, because he literally kept doing the wrong thing over and over and over again. And I just thought, man, how is this corner not yelling at him to stop doing that? That was what was going through my head as I was watching that fight.
Yeah. Good call on DC, and to me it was fairly boring fight, but was able to finally get this tap out with an arm triangle, and it was over. There's a massive knockout to start the night by Semmelsberger. That was 16 seconds and just bam, a really great way to start the card. Incredible straight right hand that just caused a knockdown, and then tried to throw some more punches as the referee's pulling him off. He got a 50 Ks for that knockout.
As he should have, because it was perfect. It was perfect knockout, man. Bang, done, over. Thanks. Where's my money?
That was great. So it was a fun card. There was a lot of fights that were great. I was disappointed that two of them ended up no contest, and I guess let's hope these guys learn to not throw knees when their opponent's down, and let's hope they can figure out a way to stop these eye pokes, because losing main events, no fight, both fighters don't get a bonus. They don't, they collect money for showing up, but that's it. And that's got to be tough, especially, a long layoff for a guy, and Bilal Muhammad, the biggest shot he ever had at, some glory and getting up to the top of that division. And it ends in a, like I said, big disappointment for everybody.
Yeah, big disappointment. And I hope that his eye is not as serious as what it seemed.
Exactly. So we've got one more fight from Apex coming up next Saturday. The main event is Derek Brunson against Kevin Big Mouth Holland. Who do you like in this one?
Holland. I'm going to say it right now. The guy's on fire. He seems to have that it factor right now. He seems to have it. Whatever it is, he has it. Yep. And I'm rolling with Holland. He's going to be talking throughout that entire fight. He's going to be saying some really witty, some ridiculous stuff. I'm sure Brunson will be like, I can't listen to this dude because everything he's saying is complete and utter nonsense. And man, I'm looking forward to it. Two really highly skilled guys going at it, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, there's not a lot of big names on the card, but as you and I have known throughout this whole year that there's been so many great fights. A lot of people trying to show their worth, fighters getting their UFC debuts, and top to bottom, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of great fights for us to break down next week, and I'm excited. And there was an announcement today. I'm going to put up Uncle Dana and let him make an announcement on the upcoming card coming in Jacksonville, the next big UFC pay-per-view. So let's hear what Uncle Dana has to say. And where's the volume? Why am I not hearing the volume? Let me see. Okay, we got to stop, Dana. Quit talking for a second. Okay, now why would it not be playing for everyone? Damn it!
Oh, man. His mouth is moving, though, so I know he's saying something. He's saying stuff.
His mouth is moving like usual, but nothing coming up. Okay, I'll tell you. Jacksonville is finally allowing fans. They're going to have 15,000 fans for the upcoming pay-per-view card. 3 title fights on the card. We're going to have Kamaru Usman facing Jorge Masvidal. We've got Valentina Shevchenko against Jessica Andrade. And we've got Rose Namajunas against Jaylee Wang. And so And a full house. They're allowing Jacksonville to have 15,000 fans there, and I'm pretty excited. Yeah, it's a hell of an announcement. It just happened right before we got on air today.
Yeah, Jacksonville's in Florida, right? Yeah,
It sure is.
Yeah, okay, so that's why they're allowing 50,000 people in there. Okay, so at least I got that part straight. But the Valentina Shevchenko Jessica Andrade fight is interesting because if there's anybody that could possibly challenge Shevchenko, it might just be her. So that's not the Nunes fight. That's not that fight. This is something completely different. So I'm intrigued by that fight. I really am. I'm very, very intrigued. And now Jorge Masvidal, he gets his full fight camp.
Yeah, gets the full fight camp. So
buddy. Camaro. It's like, hey, no more excuses for me. I'm sure Jorge's going to be training like a demon to be ready for that one. He's not going to gas out. I'm telling you that right now. That's not a fight he's going to be gassing out on at all. He's going to be ready. I can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, that's going to be super exciting. So April 24th, I believe that is. So, yeah, good announcement. I don't know why we couldn't hear Dana there, but yeah, a really cool announcement. 3 title fights, just like we had a couple weeks ago. And yeah, let's hope we don't have any controversial finishes. We don't have any disqualifications, any of this kind of stuff. Let's just have some legitimate winners, and we'll see if the belt changes hands or the champion keeps going on. So, okay, in other combat news, really unfortunate news. Saturday, marvelous Marvin Hagler died at the age of 66. And tons of tributes to him, lots of really great shows of support and condolences to his family and stuff. He was one of my favorite fighters growing up, an incredible fighter, and yeah, involved in some of the greatest fights in history. Probably one of the greatest fights. It was only a 3-round fight. Probably one of the best rounds in history, him and Tommy Hearns. I recommend anybody that's a fight fan, watch that first round. You can't even believe it's only 3 minutes. There's so much action and excitement. And yeah, I texted you the unfortunate news on Saturday to tell you that we lost a great from the boxing world.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the greats. He was one of the greats, and he wowed and wooed fans for a very, very long time throughout his illustrious career, and he'll be sorely missed. He was one of the greats, true Hall of Famer.
He went undefeated from June 2nd of 76 to April 6th of 87. So 11 years he went undefeated. His last fight was against Sugar Ray Leonard. A lot of people think that he actually won the fight. It was very, very controversial. It personally hurt me so bad when Sugar Ray won that fight. My dad wanted Sugar Ray to win, and I was going for Hagler. And my dad probably didn't let me live that down for years and years and years. Sugar Ray ran. He pretty much wouldn't engage. He just ran around the outside, tried to throw punches and run. And it was horrible. I was like, just stand there and fight the guy. Let him actually fight you. But Sugar Ray knew that if Hagler got connected with some of those shots, he was going down. So Sugar Ray had this plan, and he won a split decision, 12 rounds, took the middleweight titles. And that was it for Marvelous Marvin. He decided to hang him up. But yeah, such a legend. I recommend, if you're a fight fan, dial up some of Marvin Hagler's fights. An incredible warrior. And like I said, that Tommy Hitman Hearns fight, that first round's probably the greatest first round in boxing history.
Yeah, I concur. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous to the point where it's like, wow, like did that really just happen? Did that just happen? That just happened. It was awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible. And yeah, 66 is too early. Just imagine if he was in the corporate world, had a regular job, all these people wait until they're 65 years old so they can retire. And then bam, they die at 66. Like, don't just wait to live your life until you're 65. Live it now. You never know. You're not promised another day on this planet. You know, I feel sorry for him and his family. They would have had so many years to live. He, I'm sure, has money still, and bam, taken at too young of an age, just when, you know, you're supposed to be retiring and you're supposed to be heading off and going to the nice, beautiful beaches and sipping margaritas and, you know, living your life till you die. But 66 is way too young.
Yes, it is. It is way too young, and it's unfortunate that he didn't get to enjoy his latter years in his life with his family and his loved ones.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to shift to some NFL talk and finish with some NBA, but I do want to talk about our partners and sponsors. I want to talk about Anchor FM to start. I was going to pull something up, but oh no, I don't see it. Yeah, Anchor FM is a great partner and sponsor for Complete Sports Media. They've been great at posting on multiple podcast platforms for us, and they call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast. So go to Anchor FM and follow all the details there. Verbero Hockey Equipment and Apparel Company. They are an industry leader in technology, performance, and value. The V350 stick is a must buy if you are a hockey player. Pampas and Possibilities. They design and sell dried florals, floral arrangements, and do installations. They're designers of handmade, curated things with West Coast vibes at reasonable prices. And finally, Forever Living, the aloe vera company. They grow and manufacture aloe vera-based products for health and beauty. And you can go to CompleteSportsMedia.com, find tons of details there, and purchase products at reduced prices. So thank you to all of them. Okay, today was free agent frenzy. There was massive amount of signings today. Incredible signings by two teams that really highlighted for me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots. I want to get into lots of details on what they did today, but let's talk about probably the biggest story of the weekend. Drew Brees is decided to retire, hanging them up after 20 years, 15 years as a New Orleans Saint. Hall of Fame career, probably the third or fourth greatest quarterback of his era. And for a 6'1" guy that not a lot of people thought could do much, to have a 20-year career, finish as the all-time passing leader, one of the greatest touchdown guys, Super Bowl champion, many accolades. Really, really incredible career.
Oh, yeah. He had one hell of a career, and he should be proud of everything that he accomplished. First ballot Hall of Famer, clearly, like all the things that he's done, the joy that he's brought to New Orleans fans has been, you can't quantify it. You really can't. You can't quantify it. So I applaud him. I salute him, and I say, right off into the sunset, because you deserve that. And also, too, I want to say it was probably the right time for him to go, because I don't think his arm strength was there anymore. So,
yeah, no, it was disappointing to see this past year. He just didn't seem to have the arm strength. He was still super accurate. He has 6 of the top 9 most accurate seasons as a quarterback. The first top 3, he was always 70 to 75% completion rate. Really amazing system that he was in there with Sean Payton. But when he went to New Orleans, that organization had really just struggled mightily a lot over their history. They had just suffered the incredible Hurricane Katrina tragedy, and he went there, galvanized that city. They all got behind the Saints. He was able to take them to a Super Bowl victory. I think they put a statue out front of the stadium there, and he'll always be remembered as, well, probably the greatest athlete to ever play in New Orleans.
Yeah, and rightfully so. He deserves all of that. He deserves all those accolades. And on top of everything else, man, super tough. He broke like 8 ribs just in this final year, and a collapsed lung. Came back after a couple of weeks, said, "Coach,
yeah, he only missed 4 games. I think it was actually 11 fractured ribs and a punctured lung. And he came back after 4 games. So,
like, my mistake. I forgot about the 3 other ribs. Okay, so 11. All right, that's a commitment to excellence that far surpasses anything that's actually conceivable in the rational realm of thinking. So, yeah, my hat's off to him.
I have his kids making the announcement here, but I couldn't hear Uncle Dana, so I have a feeling we're not going to be able to hear his kids make the announcement. Let's give it a little try and see if it'll come up. But after not hearing Dana, it makes me wonder if we're going to be able to hear his kids.
Okay.
No,
he's got a lot of kids, man. He's got 4 kids, huh? Well, I can see that. I can see why.
They said that he's finally hanging them up, and he's going to spend more time with us. And I'm like, okay, that's great. That's good for a dad to do that. But then I hear today that he's accepted a job to be an analyst for NBC football. And he's actually going to be like a Tony Romo in the booth and provide color analysts for NBC games. NBC only shows the Sunday nighters, so I'm not sure because Collinsworth provides that. So I don't really know how it's going to work, but he's already accepted this very lucrative job from NBC, I hear.
You know what? He still has his responsibilities, still got to put food on the table, so he got to go back to work. I'm sure he told his kids, hey, I may be done football, but I ain't done work. I may finish in my 70s. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. They talked about, hey, we finally got our dad back, and I don't know, that analyst job can be pretty busy. It takes a lot of work to get yourself ready to be on TV and do proper analyzing the games. But we'll see. We'll see if he has time for his family. Quite. I was like, what? Oh, I was shocked by that news today.
Hey. The kids will raise themselves. They know that. Dad's going to be around, so don't worry about it too much.
So, okay. So New Orleans now has a quarterback situation. They signed Taysom Hill yesterday, 4 years, $140 million, which was absolutely shocking to me. That's what Russell Wilson's getting paid. So it was kind of like, wow, for Taysom Hill, he was okay last year. I mean, he won some games for them, but mostly with his legs, not really passing much. I hear they are going to get Jameis Winston back and re-sign him. So I guess there's a battle there, but I'm surprised they threw around that much money to Taysom Hill.
Little surprising, or maybe they know something that we don't. All right, and that's the only thing I can think of, because I don't think Sean Payton's an idiot. He's kind of smart. So, but like you said, still a surprising amount of money to keep this dude. Like he had an okay season last season. Like it was like he shared responsibilities with Drew Brees and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But at the same time, has he earned that money? No. Like that's ridiculous. That's great for Jason Tatum. Like he's like, oh yeah, I'm in the money. This is great. But maybe that's what you have to do nowadays to keep your star quarterback. You got to throw that money at him, or else he's gone somewhere. And then before you know it, oh, he turned out to be really good. Oh well, that sucks.
Yeah, maybe. I do know that a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of top guys are restructuring contracts. I understand that there was some way with this that they can void the last few years of this deal and they can actually save some salary cap money by this, but I don't know how it all plays out and works out, but we'll see. I think probably the Saints will take a step back without having, a guy like Brees there that knew the system so well, had been there for so many years, was able to find his targets. I think you're right. His arm strength wasn't there, but he was still, very successful last year. Took him, helped take him to the playoffs. Tampa Bay knocked him out, but Tampa Bay was the better team than anybody. So, maybe if they faced somebody else, they could have advanced pretty far. Pretty decent team. And, but yeah, we'll see what Sean Payton does and how it plays out with these two quarterbacks trying to fight out to see who's number one.
Well, yeah, we're going to see that. But obviously, clearly, they already know who their number one is going to be, who they believe is going to win out because they gave him a huge contract. So, yeah.
Very huge. So, okay, there was tons of talk about the Patriots. They had a 7-9 season after Tom Brady left. Cam Newton was there, struggled mightily as a passer, had a great year as a running quarterback, but they decided this past weekend that they would sign Cam Newton, bring him into a deal. The deal is very strange. I'd like you to take some looks at it, but this is how it sort of breaks down from what I see. It's a 1-year deal. He gets $5.1 million if he ends up being a backup. If he becomes a starter, he gets 6.6. If he's a starter and they make the playoffs, he gets 8.6 million, and more bonuses and milestones can be reached. If he's able to reach some certain standards for yardage, touchdowns, different things, he can make 13.6 million, but I haven't seen a starting quarterback get a deal like this and a number one guy. It's usually structured this way for backup quarterbacks. So I don't know if they are sold on him yet, but that's the deal that Cam agreed to, and they're going to try year number 2 with him.
Okay, so basically the deal is all literally incentive based, and maybe he agreed to it because he knows he needs to be better. That's why he even agreed to a structured deal like that, to say that I need to be better, and if I need to have this motivation to hit my landmark so I can be better, then so be it. Yeah. And at the same time, though, I would say that they're hedging their bets because they're not spending that much money on their starting quarterback. Because at the end of the day, even with their incentives, it's only a little over 13 million. That's not that much. Sure. It's actually a pretty good deal. So.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of talk that he didn't have enough weapons this past year. There was talk that, they have to upgrade. Well, they went and did that today. They signed 3 huge receivers. They signed Nelson Aguilar to a 2-year, $26 million deal, who was with the Raiders last year. Kendrick Bourne, 3 years, $22.5 million from the 49ers. And tight end Jonnu Smith, 4 years, $50 million deal. He was with the Titans this past few years. 3 really big weapons that they signed today.
Okay, all right. So they went out and they got him what he needed.
Yep.
So now it's his job to perform. It's actually incumbent upon all four of them to perform together. Yep. All right. So that's them basically saying, okay, all right. So you said you didn't have enough guys. Now you got guys. Yeah. Now you got a football too. We even gave you that so you can throw it to him. So let's see what you can do. Yeah. See what you got there, Cam. So I look forward to that. Let's see what they can do now that he has weapons around him.
They did make some signings on the defensive side of the ball today as well. They signed Matthew Judon, 4 years, $56 million from Baltimore. They got Devin Godchaux, 2 years, $16 million from the Dolphins. Jalen Mills, cornerback from Philly, signed him. I don't know the details on the contract. So Bill Belichick is like, hey, we don't finish out of the playoffs. This isn't a rebuild. We're signing a lot of guys right away. They had $69.3 million, I believe, in cap space, I heard. So they signed six guys today. Wham, addressed a lot of needs, and wow, it was a pretty damn impressive move today on free agent frenzy for the Patriots.
Well, Billy just said no, unacceptable. I don't like being 7-9, and Brady was my guy, and look what he did. Showed me up. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. So now I'm just going to spend a ton of money, and we're going to get better.
Yeah.
And I hope they do.
The other team that won the free agent frenzy today was the Tampa Bay Bucs. And good old Tom Brady, I know your favorite guy in the world, was able to restructure his deal. He ended up getting a contract set up for the next couple seasons. He was able to actually free up $19 million in cap space by restructuring his deal. And he gets a 4-year deal worth $50 million, but they spread it out somehow, and they were able to figure out a way to free up this cap space. And they got the biggest free agent on the market, Shaq Barrett, under contract today. So that was massive. Everybody was thinking they weren't going to be able to pull it off and keep him. They got Levante David, Shaq Barrett. They signed Gronk to a 1-year, $10 million deal. And they addressed a ton of needs, and they got Godwin under the franchise tag. A lot of weapons continue for the defense and the offense for the Bucs, and they probably will go down as the favorites to repeat as champions. First time since 2003, 2004. Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yeah, Brady. Yeah, he's such a great guy. Just giving up all that money so he can win again. Guys, let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. He did that because he's greedy. He wants another championship. That's it. Hey, if you had asked him to give up 30, yeah, he probably would have done that. He would have figured it out. Want to know why? Greed. Real greed. That's what he is. It's all about. He's 45 and he's still not retired. What's going on? Why is this happening? Why does he have to haunt my dreams? Why? That's my question. Why? Yeah. Anyways, whatever. He did the right thing. They're gonna be challenging for the championship again. And it goes on. The beat goes on.
He's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time, and continues to do so. He took a lot less money year after year in New England, so they could have a complement of guys around him. I don't understand why so many other NFL players don't see this and try to do some deferred money, try to, take a little bit less, instead of 40 million, let's take 30 million and, get some protection around me, get some weapons, receivers, get some defense. There's too much greed going on with these quarterbacks, and then they have a hard time complimenting guys around them to keep them safe and to have the weapons that can lead you to success like Brady has.
Well, that's because Brady has this that a lot of the other guys don't. My wife makes more money than me. I'm good. A lot of other guys don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have their significant other that says, well, you can stay home if you want. I got it. You know? Yeah. But Brady does have that. That's why he's able to do these things. And I get it. I get it. At the end of the day, when it comes to you being a professional athlete, you have to be incredibly greedy, selfish for yourself, because you only have a short amount of time to make your money before your body either taps out or you just don't have the skills to continue playing the game at a highest level anymore. So it's a hard line to balance, but if you can balance it, and if you know that you're close, then you should do everything in your power to try to better the team, you know, because you only get those shots at a championship only a couple times in your career. And that's it.
Exactly. That's it. Yeah. Just imagine the endorsement deals that Brady can get too, you know, winning all these Super Bowls. Like, he's going to make money. As soon as he retires, he'll still probably make 50, 60, $100 million a year, because everybody will want him to endorse their products. This is the greatest of all time. He's won 7 Super Bowls, you know, maybe going to 8, 9. And, you know, lots of athletes make more money in endorsements than they do off their contracts. So, you know, you accept a little bit less, you get so much better of a team around you, and you win, then people are going to be pounding down your doors wanting to hand you hundreds of millions of dollars in endorsement fees.
Well, yeah. And that's us being forward thinkers, right? A lot of guys aren't forward thinkers. They're like, not money now, in my pocket right now. I don't care about the future. I don't know what the future is going to bring, but I know what today brings me, 35 million, you know, or whatever it might be, you know, whatever it is. So I see the argument on both sides, but at the end of the day, you can't argue against what Tom Brady has done, because obviously it worked for him, could work for you.
Well, the Jets were pretty successful today. They went after Corey Davis, wide receiver, played with the Titans recently, $37.5 million for a 3-year deal. They also signed defensive end Carl Lawson to a 3-year, $45 million deal from the Bengals. They got Josh Adams, a 1-year deal, and they were very, very successful in what they were going for. The Chargers got a couple of offensive linemen under contract. Matt Feeler, the offensive lineman, got a 3-year, $21 million deal. They took the center from the Green Bay Packers, 5 years, $62.5 million deal for Corey Lindsey. Who else signed for big deals today? Man, it just goes on and on and on and on. Lots and lots and lots of signings. I recommend going online and looking up all the money that was given out today. Bud Dupree got $16.5 million, multi-year contract. Wow. Titans handed their offensive tackle, Kendall Rom, 2-year, $8.5 million deal. Devontae Booker got signed, 2 years, $6 million. We got over and over and over. Yeah, just the ticker was just flying like crazy. It was fun to watch. I really enjoyed seeing all these big deals happen today. NFL, even though they didn't have fans in the stands, they still got deep pockets.
Yeah, it's kind of nice being the NFL. Or being the owner of an NFL team saying, yeah, it has sucked. We didn't have any fans in the stands, but still made a lot of money. Still made money. And so that's good for the owners. And you know what? The NFL is always going to be prevalent in everybody's minds, regardless of what happens or what they do. They're always going to be number one in this country. Anyways.
We're going to see a lot of quarterback shuffling. There's musical chairs happening soon. Still lots of talk about Russell Wilson, and where's he going to? We'll see how things shake out in the next little while. But yeah, NFL still on the headlines all the time. Lots and lots and lots and lots of musical chairs, lots of money changing hands, and the rich get richer with the Bucs and the Patriots. I think those were the two biggest winners today. So we'll see over the next week, and we'll break down a lot more of these signings next week. I forgot to mention in boxing that Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua have signed a 2-fight deal to unify the heavyweight title. No exact date yet, but good to see that the heavyweight titles will be completely unified again, and that should be a heck of a battle. I think Tyson Fury has the edge, but what do you think of this matchup?
About time. It was about time. It was about time they got something done, because this was the fight that everybody was waiting for. Didn't know it was going to happen, because it's like, well, Tyson has already come over stateside, took out Deontay Wilder. All right. And so the next guy for the Gypsy King is Anthony Joshua. And you were just kind of wondering, are they going to get this fight done?
Yeah.
Because this is the fight that everybody wants to see. This is the unification. This is the fight. This is it. And I'm just glad to see that they did get it done. I would assume that this fight will probably happen at some point in time in the summer, maybe even late summer. But I can't wait, man. And yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I think the Gypsy King has the edge, because I think he's the better technical fighter in this fight.
Yeah. Well, when we went and watched the Deontay Wilder fight, amazing performance, just, so accurate, incredibly skilled technical fighter. He just beat him up, and it was really a one-sided match, and I was glad we got an opportunity to see it live, and it just put more respect on Tyson Fury's boxing skills, and I think he's the most superior heavyweight fighter, maybe of all time. Yeah,
he is that good. He really is that good. He's that good, and he's actually that big and that nimble on his feet. And he's got this herky-jerky motion that kind of throws off your cadence when you're fighting him, which makes him even more difficult to fight. Yeah. So, yeah, I look forward to that fight, but I give the edge to the Gypsy King, for sure.
Yeah. Great. I'm glad we got to talk about that, because it was exciting news that they finally put pen to paper and were able to work out a deal. So let's look forward to that battle. It's going to be amazing. All right. Well, let's finish off with NBA talk. Joelle Embiid was injured. He's out for a couple of weeks. He was one of the front runners for MVP this year. This probably puts him a few notches down. Possibly Giannis has taken a step up. This was Giannis's third straight triple-double today. He got 31 points, 15 rebounds, and 10 assists. No Milwaukee Buck has ever had even 2 triple-doubles in a row, but he's got 3 now. And Milwaukee's on a bit of a tear. And him and LeBron, I think, are sort of neck and neck for this MVP race now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You're talking about LeBron, and LeBron's actually kind of making an effort to say, probably should have won it last year. I want to win it this year. And it's old man LeBron now. It's weird to call him old man LeBron, but it's old man LeBron. And old man LeBron wants that MVP trophy. I think it's just a matter of time before he puts together a string of games, or like a lot of games, where he just kind of goes off. And I'm waiting for it to happen. And once it does, he's going to cement it. He's going to be like, all right, that's the final stamp on it. I win the MVP. I'm the best. Thanks.
I know he wants to. I think he's, mad every year that he doesn't get it. He thinks he deserves it every year, and he probably does most times. Without Anthony Davis, they're still doing really well, 25-13. just 3 games back of the Jazz. They have been a little bit up and down recently. They won their last game. They're playing the Warriors right now. We'll get a score update for you soon. But Giannis is looking fantastic. Speaking of triple doubles, though, on Saturday there was an NBA record set as 5 players secured triple doubles that day. The first time that many players ever got it. Giannis, Russell Westbrook in the same game. And then James Harden, who has 10 triple doubles since he joined the Nets. Julius Randle and Domantas Sabonis all had triple doubles that day. Randle's playing fantastic. We watched that New York Brooklyn game earlier. But Harden, man, what a transformation. He goes from Houston last year where he barely ever passed the ball to suddenly leading the league in assists and getting triple doubles every single game. It's just miraculous that a guy can, go from really a selfish player to just being one of the most unselfish players in a matter of weeks, months. It's been an incredible transformation. I'm pretty impressed.
It has been an incredible transformation, and part of that incredible transformation is him forcing his way out of Houston. So part of that came with that little caveat, which was awesome. It was really cool the way that he did it, just by quitting on the team and not playing. But anyways, besides all of that, though, he actually has one of the best coaches to help him on his way to becoming this passing savant. Steve Nash knows a little bit something about passing. And James Harden could always pass. And now Steve Nash has basically said, hey, do you think you could like do that passing thing that you do like really well whenever you kind of want to, like all the time now? Do you think you could do that? Can you do it? Oh, hey, you can do it. That's great. Just keep doing that, and I think we'll probably win like a lot of games this year. And as he's done that, as he's listened to his coach, and also too, he's done what's necessary for the team. The team needs him to play this role for them to be successful. And he's taken it up, and look at what the team has done. I believe they're 12-1 in their last 13, and KD hasn't even played.
They won tonight, so 13-1 last 14. Yeah, and KD wasn't even playing. So they've only actually had 7 games where all 3 players have played. If KD can come back healthy, the rest of them can stay healthy. Man, they're already almost unbeatable right now. It's gonna be tough to beat them in the East. I think if they can stay healthy and they can get together and play, look out.
Well, yeah, you might have to beat them up a little bit. Kind of Detroit Pistons them around. You know what I mean? Yeah, be very physical with that team. So we'll see.
There was they did a little conversation with Steve Nash after a timeout, and they said, "Wow, your defense is starting to look pretty impressive. What's changed? How have you been able to get the buy-in?" And he goes, "No. Hold on a second. No. Don't give us any props for defense yet. We're far from where we got to be defensively. So, hold on a second from giving us props for defense yet." And I loved it. He was just like, no. Thanks for the compliments, but we're nowhere near where we got to be.
I love that because he understands that to win, to win it all, you're gonna have to play some D. You're gonna have to lock some people up. You're gonna have to play some lockdown defense. And he's right; they ain't there yet. Yes, they have improved vastly from the cellar, like being dead last, like not playing any defense, like playing Ole Matador defense, like oh man, he burned me. I didn't try, but yes, he got past me. To now playing mediocre defense, I believe like they're in the middle of the pack defense right now, but he needs them to be top 10 out of all in the league, and they have the potential. I think they can do this. I think they can get there, but everybody's got buy-in on the team. Everybody's got buy-in. or else they'll never get there.
You've been saying it for weeks and weeks and months even, and I think they have the potential. Kevin Durant, when he wants to be, he's one of the best defense players in the league, and hopefully he can come back healthy and contribute really, really well. There was a history-making play this weekend. I want to give congratulations to Nate Darling. He made history as he became the first Canadian player from Nova Scotia to ever play in an NBA game. He's on the roster of the Charlotte Hornets. He had a short appearance against the Raptors, and they helped them beat the Raptors on the weekend, 114-104. He played his college 1 year in Delaware, set a school record there with 107 three-point shots made in 1 year. And I hear good things about him. Nick Nurse made some comments after the game that he knows about him because he's Canada's national coach. And really great to see another Canadian making it in the league, and especially a guy from a province that's never seen an NBA player before.
That's amazing. That's literally amazing. Like, wow, man, like that is awesome. That young man should be very proud of where he's gotten to. And listen, he can only get better. He can only go up from here. And I know he will. And that's going to be a great addition if he continues to improve upon his skills, on his skill set, on his level, and then joins the national team to make our Canadian team even better in the international stage. So that's awesome.
Very awesome, yeah. Toronto Raptors have lost 5 straight. They were hit so badly with COVID. First of all, it was all their coaches, and then it was 5 of their regulars, 3 of their main starters with Siakam, Van Vliet, and OG Anunoby out. I just find it kind of unfair. They're going out there really, really shorthanded, game after game after game, and they're fighting for their playoff lives. They were in 4th place in the Eastern Conference about a week and a half ago. They've slipped down to already all the way down to 11th place, 5 losses in a row. They are only, how many games? There are only 4 games out of 4th place, but many, many, many teams playing way better than the Raptors are right now. And this COVID has really, really decimated this team. And they're, if they can't turn this around, they are really in trouble to make the playoffs, even in this play-in round.
Yeah. It does suck. It does suck that they have to deal with this, but at the same time, every team is dealing with this. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate that they got hit so freaking hard with the COVID the way that they did.
Right.
I think they still have a chance. Obviously, we both do, that they can turn it around and start getting things going. It's just going to be super hard if they keep getting hit with COVID all the time, and guys are not they're in and out of the lineup all the time. It's going to be super hard. I hope that they can do it, but this is one of those things where it's a wait and see.
You look at the Eastern Conference standings, 1 through 15. The Raptors, Wizards, Cavs, Magic, and Pistons are 11 through 15. They all are on losing streaks. 3 losses, 5 losses. Magic have lost 8 in a row. All the teams above them, all 10 teams above them, have won their last game or on a winning streak. So you're starting to see maybe some separation between the best of the East and the worst of the East. And I hope the Raptors can turn it around and get themselves into a good position. They just, you don't really want to finish at the bottom into the playoffs because you're going to face the Nets, the Sixers, the Bucs, or the Heat, one of those powerhouses. And it's going to be really, really, really difficult and troublesome. The Warriors are kind of in that same position right now. They're in 9th place. Grizzlies are in 10th, and the Pelicans are in 11th. Pelicans had a really great weekend. Phenomenal games from Zion and LaMelo, looking very impressive. The Warriors had a huge victory. They beat the top-seeded Jazz on the weekend. Steph Curry celebrated his 33rd birthday on the weekend and celebrated it with beating the Jazz. And he's looking phenomenal. Draymond looked great. Andrew Wiggins had a really great game. It was nice. It's nice to see them battling and playing so well. They just are missing one or two pieces. And Klay Thompson had a really great press conference that I highly recommend watching and listening to. I was going to play it for our viewers tonight, but having this audio trouble. So, yeah, have you been impressed with the Warriors of the last few games? They've been looking pretty good.
They have been looking very good. And I did watch this game, and Steph almost had 33 on his 33rd. He had 32 points. And nice. I love watching them play. Like when they whip the ball around and when Steph has got it going, they're one of the best teams in the NBA to watch. They're just a joy to watch. They really are. And I love the fact that Wiggins has had a resurgence there, that he seems to be perfectly cast now in his role as like that third guy, that third scorer. We don't need you to score all the time, but we do need you to have something, bring something to the table. And also too, his defensive prowess has improved exponentially on this squad now. He gets his blocks. Like he's one of their best defenders on the team. And so there's a lot of positives for them going forward. And especially once Klay Thompson comes back. And if he can come back like KD came back, oh man. Yeah, the Warriors are going to be a problem next year. Big time.
Yeah, this press conference was great. It was great to hear Klay talk. He said, he's going to come back full gangbusters next year. He's, he thinks he's in the prime of his career still, and he's reached out to Dominique Wilkins, Grant Hill, Kevin Durant, many guys that have suffered these types of injuries in their prime. Asked, what they did to come back, types of things he should be doing. He talked about putting on a wetsuit and swimming in the San Francisco Bay there. And he talked about, many aspects, but he said 2020 was the worst year of his life. He said that, his Achilles injury, he lost his grandma. He talked about Kobe. He talked about the social injustice and a lot of the fight that went on there. And he said, he's really looking forward to putting the end to that chapter of his life and coming on. And he thinks that once he can come back to full health, he thinks the Warriors have a really good shot at getting another championship or two. So I was really happy to hear him talk.
Yeah. And because he's right. They do. Like, and literally, depending on how they finish, if they get like another steal in the draft, another piece, so to speak, oh man, oh yeah, they're going to be looking really good, like really, really good. And James Wiseman looks fantastic as a rookie. He's really looked great. So I'd say the sky's the limit for the Warriors once Klay comes back. Oh man, Splash Brothers are back, baby. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I can't wait. Yeah. No, I love watching that team. And when, those two guys are on, it's just incredible basketball to watch. And it's hard to cover, Steph by yourself when Klay's out there too. Oh man, they're be able to hit from downtown all the time. And it's incredible basketball. It's changed the game. And I can't wait. I can't wait for him to return. It's going to be great. Anything else you want to cover in basketball, or do we put a close on this week's chapter?
I think we can put a close on this week's chapter. I just want to say that Pelicans game against the Clippers to end it off, where Zion finished with 27 points, and then them actually having him as the facilitator, him bringing up the ball. You cannot stop that. I saw him do that numerous times in the game. You don't stop a 285-pound man coming down at full steam with his athleticism. There's literally nothing you can do. So they're going to continue to do that, and you're going to have to try to stop that. Guess what? You're not going to stop it. Nobody can.
No, they looked amazing, destroying the Clippers by 20. They were up the whole game by 20, 30 points. They beat Cleveland by 34 on Saturday. And yeah, Zion and LaMelo, man, that's a really amazing 1-2 punch. And very smart to have Zion handle the ball, because a guy that big usually can't handle the ball very well, but he does, and he gets a head of steam coming, and look out. It's impossible to stop him.
Yeah, it is impossible to stop him. And Lonzo has been shooting the ball very well. Like, his three-point stroke has been massively improved over this course of the season.
Sorry, I said LaMelo, but Lonzo. Yeah, of course, Lonzo. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's amazing how he went from a very awkward three-point shooter to suddenly, being quite deadly three-point shooter. And yeah, he's improved a ton there. I'm impressed by him. And yeah, I think the Pelicans are moving on up, and yeah, look out. I think they're going to be one of those dark horse teams in the bottom of the Western Conference when it's all said and done.
Well, if they're in the mix, it just makes everything more exciting. And I hope that they are in the mix. And with Stan Van Gundy as their coach, and he's coaching them up pretty good, he just needs to get them there to that hump. So I hope he can do that, because anything with Zion is just better. It just is. It's just better.
You're right. Okay, well, we're 7.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Lakers are up 76-62 on Golden State. Yeah, we'll be able to get to this game and enjoy the rest of your evening. Hey, man, I appreciate it as always. It was a lot of fun to break down the fighting, the NFL, crazy day in the NFL, and a lot of fun stuff on the weekend for the NBA.
Yeah, man, it's always a pleasure, and I look forward to the next one next week.
Sounds good, buddy. Yeah, enjoy your week. I hope it goes quick. I hope you get off early every day, and keep in touch. Yeah, there'll be a lot of signings. We can text back and forth about some of the amazing deals that are happening.
Oh, definitely. I'm going to be keeping my ear to the streets, so to speak.
Great. Okay, man. Cheers. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.
Okay. Well, yeah, fun episode as always. We started a little bit late tonight, but glad we could fit it in and talk about all the fun stuff we enjoy consuming and love. So thanks so much for tuning in as always. Appreciate your feedback, appreciate your support, and yeah, enjoy the week of sports ahead. We're going to the next podcast looks like we're going to have a professional baseball pitcher joining us, Colby White, and really excited. We're trying to find a perfect day to make that happen. So keep your eyes and ears tuned to Complete Sports Media, and we will talk very soon. Take care of yourself. Love you. Bye for now.